How's it going, everybody? My name's Eric, and in this video I'm going to show you how to get your Beeprt By426 thermal label printer installed and printing like a champ. We're going to get this thermal label printer installed on a Windows computer, and we're also going to get it installed on a Mac computer. It is also supported by Linux, but I don't have a Linux computer, and Linux people, you should know computers enough to know how to install this on a Linux. So we're not going to go over Linux. There will be an index of the tutorial in the description if you want to like skip to Windows or skip to Mac or skip to like how to put together the label holder or whatever. You can skip to that in the index in the description. But first we're going to set up, and I'm going to show you guys how to calibrate this before we even go over anything. And before we do that, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please give the video a thumbs up. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing, and let's get into the tutorial. So before we even get into the printer, we're gonna put together the label holder because we're gonna need this to hold the labels while we calibrate the printer. Grab the base of the label holder and the feet facing down. There will be 4 holes that the sides are going to go into. You want the flat sides of the sides to be facing out. I'm gonna stick these 2 feet into those holes and then pull it towards me till this is lined up right here. So this is all flat. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side, flat side out, through those 2 cutouts, and then pull it towards me. And then you're going to take your back piece, slide it into the 2 channels, and then this little part here, press it all the way in, and you might hear a little snap, you might not. And then there's one more piece that kind of lodges in on the top, and then we're gonna use this in a little bit. Now, for the printer setup, turn it around. You're going to grab your power supply. Mine's got a green light because I already plugged this into the wall. And then I'm going to plug the power supply into the back of the printer. And I'm going to grab the USB cable that it came with, and it only goes in one way. You're also going to plug that into the back of the printer. Then you're going to turn your printer on and put it right side up. You will get a red light because it's looking for labels and there's no labels to be found. I'm gonna use this roll of labels, but you can just use the labels that came with the printer. You can just set them down right here. The printing surface of the label is the surface that's the non-sticky side. We're gonna be wanting to print on this surface of the label, and that has to make contact with the print head here. So there is a way to install the labels correctly, and then there's the upside down way, and you don't want to install them upside down. You can place your labels right in here. I'm going to use this roll and put my core through it and then drop it down right here and push it off the camera. Now you're going to want to open this up, adjust your guides to fit those labels. You don't want it to be too tight, but you want it to be tight enough to guide. Press down on the top and it should feed exactly to one label. Every time you press this button, it should feed to one label. And if for some reason yours isn't feeding one label, or it's giving you some sort of distance, or it's printing on 2 labels instead of 1 and it's like half labels, or if it's just giving you issues, you're gonna wanna calibrate. And the way that you do that, you hold this front button down until it beeps, and then you let go of that front button. It puts it into calibration mode to where it's reading in between the labels with this little gap in the sensors, and it kind of remembers the distance between labels, and then that should solve the problem if your printer was not calibrated. Now we're going to install it on a Mac. I'm gonna be using a Mac without any normal USB ports. All I have is USB-C. I either have to use a converter dongle like this and plug that into my computer, and then I have to plug the printer into this dongle like this, or I can use one of these converters to convert USB to USB-C and then plug that into my Mac. If your Mac has a normal USB port, that's perfectly fine. You can plug it in just as it is here. Then you're going to grab the USB driver that came with the printer. And just in case your printer did not come with one of these or you lost it, I'll show you another alternative method how to get and install the driver once we get on the Mac. But it's the same thing. You're gonna have to use a converter or plug this directly into your Mac depending on the connectivity of your Mac. And once you have that done, I will see you guys on the Mac. So here we are on our Mac. I'm going to show you first how to install it if you don't have the USB driver. And for that, you're going to have to open up a browser, go to help.beeprt.com. I will put a link to this in the description. Go to install Beeprt driver on a Mac. Then you're going to download this driver from this link right here. You're just going to click on that. You're going to download, and then you're going to run it. Now to run it from a USB, I have my USB disk right here. It goes to my desktop. If you don't see it there, you can go to your Finder, and you should see it mounted somewhere here. If you don't see it, then you should pull it out, put it back in. Hopefully it will pop up. Then we're going to go to driver and software, driver, Mac OS. I'm just double clicking through all of these folders and then double click on that DMG. It's going to open this, and then we're going to double click on this PKG, and it's going to run this. I'm going to go through these, continue, install, put in my fingerprint. And if you get hung up right here, you're going to have to go to System Preferences, Security and Privacy. It should allow you to open anyways. You might have to hit this lock, type in your password to change those settings, but you should be able to find the holdup right here. Now I'm going to hit Close, and we're going to go back to System Preferences. We're going to click on Printers and Scanners. And as you can see, I got a lot of printers, but you're going to hit this plus sign here, and you should see the Beeprt By426 pop up. If you don't, turn the printer off, turn the printer back on, unplug it, plug it back in, and it should pop up. Now you're going to go to this Use drop-down, go to Select Software, and then you're going to type in Beep into this little search right here, and then click Beeprt By426 label, hit OK, and then you're going to go back and hit Add. It says it was installed incorrectly. You may or may not get this. I'm just going to hit Repair. I'm going to type in my fingerprint again, and then it's installed my printer. Now I'm going to open the sample PDF that it came with. I'm going to 2-finger click on it, open with Google Chrome to get us all on the same page, and then I'm going to go to this little print button here. Make sure that the Beeprt printer is picked. I have to go to See More, and then Beeprt By426. Then you're going to go to paper size. You're going to click 4x6 because we're primarily printing shipping labels. Fit to printable area, that's fine. If you ever need to make adjustments to this, you can go to Print using System Dialog, go to this drop down, go to Printer Features, and you have your darkness, your print speed right there, and you can create custom paper sizes that way. But we're just going to be printing it in the Chrome dialog. It saved my settings that I just had. Just for demonstrational purposes, let's print 3 copies of this. I'm going to hit print. It's going to send the signal to the printer. It's going to send the signal to the printer. And there we go. 3 of our samples are beautifully printed. We can now take these and put them on our packages if they were real, but these are not. So these are not going on packages. Don't forget, you have settings on your platforms. I have a link to a video in the description. It's called Watch This Video. You need to watch that video in order to change the settings on eBay, Amazon, Poshmark, Etsy, wherever you're gonna be doing it. You gotta make sure you change the settings to 4x6 from 8.5 and 11, otherwise you're gonna be frustrated. So I highly recommend that you go in the description and check out that video. So now we're gonna set it up on a Windows computer. I have the USB that it came with plugged in, but I'm also gonna show you how to install it if you're not using the USB. And then don't plug the printer in just yet because sometimes it can be kind of fussy. So I'll tell you when I'm plugging it into the computer and you'll see all of that. So if you don't have the USB or you lost your USB, you're gonna wanna go to help.beeprt.com. I'll have a link to this in the description. Go to install Beeprt Seagull driver on Windows, and then you're gonna download this Windows driver and then follow the instructions on here or follow the instructions in the video. We have it on our USB, so we're gonna go here to this folder and then down here to Beeprt disk. I'm gonna click on that, and then it says driver and software. I'm gonna double click on that, double click on driver, double click on Windows, and then right here it says Beeprt Windows driver, and double click on that, and we're going to run this software. Next, 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 and let this run. And then you're going to go down here and click on this blinking shield. It's not going to show this on the record. For some reason it turns black, but it says, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? You're going to hit yes. It's going to bring you back to this, and then you're going to hit install printer drivers, hit next. And then now it tells you to connect the printer. So now you're going to plug the printer in your computer. And sometimes it's just fussy like that. Once the printer is plugged in, it should take a couple of seconds. And for some reason, mine's not getting recognized, so I'm going to turn it off, and then I'm going to turn the printer back on. And there it goes. If it doesn't go immediately, you might have to turn off and turn on the printer. If for some reason you plugged in the printer and tried to install it and it's not recognizing it, maybe it automatically installed it. And in that case, you would go to your printers and scanners by typing in printers and scanners down here, finding the printer, and then removing it, because maybe your Windows computer did not install it with the correct driver. So there we got it. We're gonna hit next, we're gonna hit next, we're gonna hit finish. For some reason, my computer, it asked me to restart. I had to restart it. You may or may not have that. But now that I'm restarted, I'm gonna go here to printers and scanners. You just type in printers and scanners into this bar, click on that, and you should see the Beeprt By426 thermal printer over here in your printers and scanners. You can go to manage and printing preferences. And here you have settings that you're gonna have to mess with. Go to page setups and change this to 4x6 if you're printing 4x6 labels. And if you're printing a different size label, you can go to new. You can type in the width and the height of the size of the labels that you're going to be printing from. And you're going to want to go over here to graphics, go to dithering and none, and then hit apply. Okay. You're going to want to pull up a sample label. I have a sample label in the description. Take a look at that. You can print that if you want. So open that up, hit print. You're going to want to make sure your destination is the Beeprt By426. Your paper size is 4x6. Fit to printable area or fit to paper. Should be about the same. And then you're going to hit print. It's going to send the signal to our printer. And there we are with our beautiful sample label where we could stick this on our package if it were a real label. So that's how you would install it on Windows. And while I have you here, I do want to show you a YouTube video that will help solve a lot of issues, and that's how to fix the settings on like eBay and Poshmark, Amazon, Etsy, the main platforms, pirate ship, and it goes through the settings. I highly encourage you to watch that because you're still going to get frustrated if you're trying to print from those platforms and you haven't changed the settings on those platforms. It's not the printer's fault. It's actually a settings issue. So check out that video. There is a link in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please give the video a thumbs up. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.